Limited. We are an active energy service providing company, or call us a clean energy enterprise that has been in existence since 2008. In the coming days, we'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary. We're a company that has been around, and along the way, we've served a couple of clients in various sectors. And I'm happy today to be here sharing experiences on energy efficiency and how we can deploy energy efficiency in our organizations, and how this then can ultimately bring about to increase the operation efficiency, but also reliability in all what we do and improve the livelihoods to the communities we are serving. We are headquartered here in Kampala, Uganda, and we're a company that is reaching out to clients in various parts of the country. We've had presence in different parts of the country in the different sectors like health, education, crisis-affected persons, agriculture space, and all that. So we are your go-to person in case you need anything to do with clean energy utilization for various applications and many more. That's the brief I have for you, colleagues here. I would like to pass on the microphone back to our moderator, Ms. Belinda, to steer this conversation. Over to you.
Okay, great. Very good to hear from you, Mr. Luvuwa. We are very happy to have you this morning. It's one of those very rare topics never discussed on the Business Recovery series. So we are ready to learn from you. If you have a presentation, you can share with us so that we can start this conversation.
Which is in full all-in trade limited, and we are located here in Kampala at Walusimbi's Garage building in the Winton. We say AIT, Clean Energy as a Service. The future of energy utilization is where we're now looking at taking on energy solutions as a service. And our case study now is taking us into a new innovative model that we've come up with. Previously, one of the key barriers to acquisition of energy assets has always been the lack of upfront payment, or the capex, or the huge investment that may be required on the side of the prospective client to take on an energy solution. Clean energy in itself is the latest technology in energy, but also it's not cheap. These are quite expensive technologies and they come costly. So we've come up with an innovation where we are providing these solutions on a lease to own, or what we call a hire purchase, or what we call as a power as a service, that you don't have to pay for what you're not consuming. So here is a case for Roswell Women and Children's Hospital here in Kampala, and this is what we propose to them. Essentially, ideally, what we are saying is that any business, any commercial industrial client, anyone can run their operations entirely on solar, looking at what we have done for other clients, what has been done globally. And this is the new thing that we are bringing into the Ugandan landscape. And we are an ISO certified company. We are an ISO 14001 for environment, and we are an ISO 4501-2018 for health and safety standards. So we give our clients the right commitment and the full commitment that with our solutions, with our tech equipment from design up to when we deliver this solution as a turnkey, we can also help them acquire this asset without breaking their banks. We're a company, like I've explained, that has been in existence since 2008, and a vast majority of our clients are spread across different sectors, from health, manufacturing, education, crisis persons, and many more. Our vision is to be Uganda's leading renewable energy solutions provider by reputation, revenue, profitability by the year 2030. And our business has grown organically over the years to a level that we have now a full-time team of 28 staff working in various departments of the business. And we have a proven track record of up to date. We have a total installed capacity of 47 megawatts. This includes a couple of installations that are utility scale based, that are evacuating power to the grid. You may not be surprised that some of the power people are using in their homes or in their businesses is coming from some of these plants where we have deployed systems. Among them is the 18 megawatt in Kabula Socket, which we commissioned and handed over in 2018. And another recent one is a 22 megawatt, which we have recently worked on in Mubende, that evacuates power to Mkonge substation. Part of our membership goes and spans across different member associations. Among them is the Energy Access Practitioner Network, which is an association of global energy practitioners. We are also members of the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce. We are members of the Uganda Solar Energy Association, and myself, I happen to be the outgoing vice chairman of the Uganda Solar Energy Association. Our AGM will be happening sometime later on this year, and then I'll be handing over the leadership to the new team that will be coming through. We are also members of the Uganda Small Scale Industries Association. We are also members of the Uganda National Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors. We are members of UMA. We are members of the Wind Power Association of Uganda. We are members of the East African Entrepreneurs Association. We are members of the East African Entrepreneurs Association, and many more that are not listed here. Now the question is, why solar? You'll note that globally there is now a big concern about energy conservation, environmental conservation, energy efficiency. Back in the days, it wasn't making logical sense for one to think of solar, let me say, to run a factory, or say to have a large solar plant or solar farm where you could pick this power. It was extremely expensive, but as technology has evolved, there is a lot of innovation and improvement in the technology. Now, solar panels are considered to be more efficient than they were 10 years ago, and this has brought out a lot of increased demand and appetite for the utilization of such, and the technology has really matured to a level that it can be relied on to run critical loads, to run critical installations, to run critical establishments. And out of this global deployment, even the prices have come down. It is now not that scary in terms of investment to deploy and work with a solar solution, for example, for a huge hospital like what we are looking at here, our case of Roswell Hospital. So this has really brought in a lot of increased consumer confidence. So now it's not a new thing that you can run solar. So there is a lot of improvement and increasing demand day by day. But also, solar is also one technology that is dependent and coming from a stable natural resource. For us who are living in sub-Saharan Africa and across the equator, for a country like Uganda, we are assured of a minimum of 8 hours of sun generation, which is a critical resource. When you compare it with other renewable energy sources, like say for water that we generate with the hydro and all that, there is a very big risk that comes with this resource. And no one knows what can happen in the next 10 years or 15 years with all these investments. So solar still remains a critical alternative that we can really rely on and depend on amidst the increasing demand for energy. Because I can tell you, like everyone now owns a smartphone, and this all now requires a reliable power source. While you're at work, while you're in your car, mobility now is looking into electric, from bikes, from cars. So the demand for energy is not going down, it is just increasing day by day. And this is how we really need to work and think smart on utilization and coming up with smart choices. That if, say, you are to install a solar system or to think of anything, solar should be your #1 priority. And this is why we come up with such innovations that then you can be able to onboard as many clients as possible without them struggling to be onboarded. We are calling upon prospective clients to come and be our customers, to make that move and choice that is smart to switch to solar energy. We are saying that once there is a demand and need for energy, we are coming up with an option whereby the client doesn't have to pay any upfront cost. What we are doing here is what would really essentially be part of the maintenance. The colleagues you see there are doing what we would say routine preventive maintenance. That was at a site where it is in a hard to reach area. At the roof, we couldn't access water, so we had to carry water in those buckets to clean. So for most people, when you talk about solar, people are only referring and thinking that it is something that cannot work. The warranty that we are giving with all these panels is from the manufacturers coming with 25 years at 85% efficiency. So it is basically now a mature technology. It is something that one can rely on, and looking at all what is required in terms of maintenance. So you not be replacing a panel maybe after a year or two. And also when you look at the energy storage components that we are working with to talk about the lithium ion batteries, the technology has really evolved to an extent that you can have like a 40 feet or large energy storage banks that you can work with to even run, let me say, a mini grid or run a totally island solution off the grid and all that. So depending on one's preference, these are all options we are offering to our customers, and we are making it as easy right away to make the choice, but also to acquire or to do the buying choices and all that. We are working with a range of equipment manufacturers, and all these manufacturers are tier one, or what we would call top internationally recognized manufacturers, the likes of Victron from the Netherlands, the likes of Jinko, and these are all international brands that are recognized world over, and the warranties can be supported from all over the world. So it not be a question that while you're in Uganda, you are having a fake product, or somebody in the US is having the same a genuine product. So it is just a uniform product that is distributed across the world, and support is given to everyone across the world without any discrimination. In a nutshell, a simple layout of what we propose or what we can be able to demonstrate and give our clients the confidence is that these solar systems can be integrated with our existing electrical setup or network. We are saying you can work with solar as an island solution or independent of the grid, or you can integrate solar into your energy mix, whereby you can have, for example, a generator as a backup option. You can also still keep the grid, and all these can work in sync and communicate, whereby you can say, during the day, let me prioritize utilization of my generation to come from solar, and in the night, let me switch maybe to the grid when it is off peak, or in the event that the grid that is out, there is an outage, then I can switch on my generator. But this would be where you don't have batteries. Where you are looking at a solution or a solar system that comes with energy storage or batteries, then you can totally run independent of the grid or any other source. And these are options that we come up with at the point of design, at the point of consultation, to make sure that we are able to design and choose for you a solution that comes with the right fit for you in terms of price, in terms of requirements, and all that about. These systems are coming with remote monitoring. Ideally, you will be able and be comfortable, and the technology has evolved and has advanced to a level that you can remotely view how much you are generating, how much you are able to pick from the grid, how much you're able to pick from any other alternative as energy source. And this ultimately can help you even calculate your return on investment. For example, if you have deployed a 48, like what we have here in our case, 48.5 kilowatt PV system. This system can also help you summarize to see how much you've been able to save in terms of how much would you have then spent on an alternative like the grid. We all know that the cost of power from the utility companies like Wenreco, Umeme, and all that is not going down as we will progress. So every year, as inflation increases, as dollar UDX exchange rates increases, so these are all factors that determine their pricing. And cost of power is always on the increase. There is no way it will come down. And once you have made a smart choice to invest in a solar system, you are locking in your cost of power over a period of time. If say you've chosen to go for a lease where you are doing like a finance lease that you require to own the asset after the lease period, then your investment is locked in within the lease period. Or if you have chosen to only pay for the power, you are being guaranteed of a fixed tariff over the lease period, which may be, say, cheaper than what the utility company can give you. And this is what we are able to demonstrate. And we are also able to quantify the non-monetary aspects in terms of benefit. For example, what is the environmental impact if you are to choose a solution like this, say 50 kilowatt? You would see the system is able to help you calculate the total CO2 emissions avoided, the total tons of coal avoided, the total number of trees equivalent planted. So this is something that is way beyond the finance or the economics, but also to look into aspects of social, environmental, and all this. And this is what we really want, that if a vast majority of the population can be able to have solar as a solution and embrace, this can have a very big impact on our environment, because ultimately we only have one planet. We don't have any other planet where we're going to be living. So we all have a moral responsibility to safeguard our environment. And the only way we can do this by making smart choices to make sure that all that we are working with in terms of energy is aligning to our conservation efforts, to make sure that we are climate responsible businesses, we are ethical businesses, but also we are able to preserve an environment or a planet that we can pass on to future generations. So as part of our after-sales support, we are able to offer end-user training, refresher trainings. We do give technical support. There are times when we've been involved in projects that we are not only coming in as a main contractor or a main, but people are reaching out to us to consult with us, to ask questions. We also give remote monitoring and troubleshooting remotely oversight. We do routine preventive maintenance as part of our support. And these are all things that we see that can really give the value in ensuring that one has a sustainable solution that is beyond the point of acquiring, that is beyond the point of design, that can be timeless. We have, as a business, we have faced a couple of challenges. And among the challenges we are currently facing is most of the sites or properties we're working on still lack or have poor existing electrical wiring. This is mainly due to weak regulation in terms of supervision, because the norm in our country is that much of electrical installations, there is not that detailed in terms of supervision and conformity to international standards. So you find that one client has done the best, the other is lacking, the other doesn't see it wise that this can be something that can be pushed to a level of understanding to what benefit it can be. This ultimately leads into exposure to things like accidents at workplaces, risks of electrical shocks and all that. So some of the challenges we are working with to make sure that we align stakeholders, we align and do a lot of awareness to ensure that everyone understands that whether it's solar, whether it's operating a generator, there are standards as per international electrical standards of wiring and distributing power that we must abide with. However, living in a country like Uganda, as a poor country, regulations don't come that strong. But these are things we are trying to see that even in the absence of a strong regulator or a watchman to push and ensure that installations are supervised up to a level that is internationally satisfactory, we come up with a moral obligation to talk, to do the talking, to preach the good word. And now there is some bit of sanity that is picking up, and this is particularly in commercial and industrial properties. For the residences, it is still a big problem because it is a price issue. Everyone is looking at how cheap they can get it. So it still comes back to a pain area. We are also working in an environment that if Miss Belinda has their project confirmed for launch 10th December, and they have given you their work order today, they would like you to finish this job within the fastest time. And this brings in aspects of irregular working hours, and we are adopting, we've come up with more and smart ways to work around with irregular working hours, having multiple teams deployed in various locations of the country to run split working shifts and all that. And we are also trying to ensure that we save on the knowledge gaps that may come around system operations. You find that you work on a large plant, and before you know it, the caretaker or the person you've trained is maybe leaving, and there is no gap. Before you know it, somebody is calling you to tell you, or they are calling, or they are reporting a fault, which is just a warning in form of like a pre-alert. Say our state of battery is coming from green to yellow, so that's not a point to worry and all that. So these are some of the things that are coming along. And the other is system abuse, whereby if say we design a system to power one building, you find that a customer or a client is now taking on to power 5 more buildings and all that. So systems are abused and all that. So these are some of the challenges we've observed in the industry. And I'm happy to look through the next steps where we are looking at user needs and the site assessment, design proposals.
That, Mr. Lobowa, I would like you to make a case for solar energy for a small business. I don't know if you've done the computation to say that. Let me give an example of one of the businesses that I have visited with Enterprise Uganda. There is a gentleman who is making tomato sauce. Yes, making tomato sauce. So they have to boil tomatoes. So they have quite a huge need for power. They need to boil the tomatoes and do a bit of that. Their process is quite energy intensive, if I can say. In your operations or in your calculations, have you made a case to say that if you install a power system of X, you're able to save X amount of money if you're using the grid? I would like to know if you have made that comparison to make it easy for us to start moving towards making the decision to get the smart choice. Or even just for households. If you say, if you get a solar panel, this size, you're able to save your electricity bills by X shillings. Have you been able to work that out, Mr. Lobowa?
Thank you so much, Belinda. Yes, this is something we have been able to work out. Actually, to us, we call it the energy economics. So we've been able to do some bit of financial modeling for a couple of clients. And along the way, I can tell you, you will not regret whether a commercial business, whether a household, depending on the size of solution one would be looking at choosing. To look into and break it down into the simplest terms one can understand. If Umeme is giving you power at a tariff of say 800 shillings, yeah, per kilowatt hour, with our kind of solutions, you'll be able to get that power cheaper at what Umeme offers to say a price of 500 shillings. So solar still remains the smart choice and cheaper option going forward. There are also other benefits apart from the choice you mentioned and hinted on carbon credits. We are also talking about now what we call renewable energy certificates. These are coming in form of incentives and also opportunities on incentivizing and also bringing down your cost of investment. And the only way one can benefit from such, if they have the right systems, that then whoever is going to pay off for these renewable energy certificates or carbon credits, one can be able to verify, say the installation is happening at Mrs. Belinda's factory or household and it is of this month. Do they have visibility into the generation like what I've been showing you, like the remote monitoring and all that? So these are all opportunities that the sector is opening up to encourage and people to make the right decisions in terms of, but also contributing to the environment and being climate responsible businesses. And this is what we really want to work with. Over to Belinda. I think I've answered the question very well.
Okay, so the energy economics is very exciting. And the other question that I'm picking from the chat is, we need to be trained. You know, we are struggling with our usage and our behavior with umeme and the energy on the grid. Now, I'm very sure with the solar option, there's the etiquette of using, if I can call it that, of using solar. What do you need to do? What do you need to know? How do you conserve? How do you get the maximum benefit? Is that something that you can talk about now? From smaller users to the big projects that you've shared with us, the schools and the manufacturing clients that you have. What do we need to know?
Thank you very much, Belinda. I think first thing is whether you are the client or you are seeking to take on the journey into making your first purchase or acquisition of a solar system. One, you should acquaint yourself with understanding the technology and how it works. One, the technology for solar is one that is working with sunlight, exposure to sunlight. So part of the analysis we do before we advise a client, because we receive so many inquiries and at times we find that what a client is interested in does not permit. We've seen an Excel lodge that didn't want to tamper with their existing tree cover. They never wanted to do any pruning on the branches and everything. So for them to take on a solar solution as say for water heating, the collectors wouldn't have enough exposure to sunlight, so thereabout they could not be heating. So one, it starts with understanding, do I have the right fit for a site? And that's why we are always requiring that we go and take on these site visits, that we go to a client site and then be able to do a site visit and be able to take on the right assessment. We have tools that we use, for example, at a particular point, we use a pathfinder to pick and detect the movement of the sun at exact point, drop there and all that. So these are all things that even when you are choosing a solar contractor or vendor, don't only look at what the price they are offering you, because this is the norm, especially in the smaller systems and the households. And this is why when you talk about solar, the myth is solar can't work, because most people then tend to settle for the cheapest. And I'm happy to tell you that you cannot get gin for beer price. So that comes with a little bit of investment, whereby one must choose the right product, and the right products I must say are not cheap. They are coming pricey. And what now everyone requires to do is that they must be able then to translate what they're getting into real terms of what their need really stands for. In terms of choosing, while you're choosing a vendor or choosing it, make sure that at least they have the right experience in the industry. They have some references. They have, when I say I'm giving you warranty this, is it warranty that I'm going to state in writing, or is it warranty that I'm just going to say by word of mouth? So these are critical aspects for one to make a sustainable choice of buying. That I'm getting price this, they're giving me warranties. In case of a problem, it is this. This is how I go about the troubleshooting. And even at the point of installation, when we are commissioning and hand over this installation, we do what we call end user training. We just don't want to put up something nice and then we're walking away and with all the knowledge and with all the basics. So we do what we call basic end user training, so that whoever we've handed over is able to make these decisions of say reporting effort, of understanding what we've installed and how it works, but not to go into the details of say fixing or changing this and that, but maybe just to be comfortable as operators or the people picking. Over to Belinda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lubowa. If you have a question for Mr. Lubowa, you can put up your hand or you can type it in the chat. We have about 27 minutes to go. And yes, we'll make sure that we answer everyone's question. Mr. Lubowa, we've heard about the goodness of solar. What could be, can you share some risks? Are there risks? Can you share some with us?
Certainly, for any technology, the risks are not avoidable. They are there. Apart from the workmanship risks that come with the deployer or the whoever is chosen as your vendor or contractor to work on that, there are risks are associated with the components used, and this also comes to the quality. You've seen projects, especially large projects or houses catching fire and all that, whereby an installation is done, and along the way, due to overheating or due to lack of proper protection, maybe when lightning strikes and then a fire is exploding or stuff like that. However, the other risks are also related to the environment where we deploy and work with. You've seen projects where once a solar panel is put out there, a community will come and say, oh, these solar panels are going to make the women barren, we shall not have kids, or the soils will go, our crops won't come up. We've seen this especially in communities where we're working in rural communities and all that. So there has been that kind of lack of alignment on the realities and all that. But in terms of risks, I can tell you they are there. Technological risks, particularly related to workmanship as part of the deployment, and also related to the quality of the products. And this is why I encourage customers, before you make that buying decision, make sure you are buying from a trusted and known source, not just a hawker or not somebody should be able to go to and all that. I can see Mr. Charles Lago has raised their hand. Thank you.
Charles Lago's hand is raised. Let's see what his question is. Mr. Charles Lago, I am going to, where are you? Are you there, Mr. Charles Lago?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what's your question?
Thank you, Belinda, and thank you, Enterprise Uganda. Thank you, presenter. I wanted to know the relationship between renewable energy from solar and biogas. Could there be integration? And if so, how? Because I think in our households, it is easy to get the biogas. And vis-a-vis, how can the two be integrated? I wanted to get just educated on that. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I think it's the integration of the three. Yeah, so imagine you have biogas, you have the solar option, and then of course you have the national grid. Yeah, so we'll talk about the integration of the three. Let's also take Brand's question. Brand Enyimu. Please, Brand Enyimu. How do we do this? Can you unmute and speak? Oh, I can't seem to get. Brian to unmute. In the meantime, Mr. Lubwa, can you please respond to Charles Lago's question about integration as we try to get Brian on? Yes. Mohammed?
Linda,
Yes.
I'm here. Please come
Yeah,
again.
let's first respond to Charles Lago's question about integration of the different energy sources.
All right. Thank you so much, Belinda. Charles, I would like to give you the confidence that for any energy source you have, be it at your household and all that, we have come up and there are technologies that we work with as tools to do the integration. What I know for biogas, it is not that technology that is really advanced or developed in Uganda. I've seen clean cooking interventions coming up in Uganda, but this is all dependent on the biomass resource, which is not very common and all that, and it would require, just imagine somebody living in an apartment with shared kind of resources. So it is a technology, I would say, still in its infancy. Even those with clients with a huge biomass resource, like we are trying to do the same for our captive solar food conservation project, because then we have a lot of pineapple peelings and all that, that then we can convert into energy and have it either taken back into our ecosystem to further build on that. Yes, it is possible, but you must have the right source of energy. With biomass, much of it is now being looked into on heating or cooking in Uganda, and I think it's still in its infancy. But yeah, these are all options we are putting our heads and minds on to see that we are able to grow. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see if we can get to Brian. Brian.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
The same to you. Good morning. Greetings from Kaveramaido,
Yes, how is
where I'm based
Kaveramaido?
currently. Well, with the energy challenges here and there. That's why I think my business needs this recovery. If not, we're in ICU at the moment.
Oh dear,
We
sorry
haven't
about
had power for the last 2 weeks.
that. Oh no.
And we have about 250 businesses that depend entirely on UDCL and their power supply.
So what business do you do, Brian?
I run a processing mill where we process grains and also make animal feeds.
Okay.
So in my
Yes.
store currently, I have about 56 tons of maize that
Yes.
are in a hala that have not been processed yet. Now you can imagine what loss I'll face if by the close of week, my maize is not processed into flour. That means I'll produce very bad flour of raw quality for customers. That's a very huge loss for me. That means if I'm to sell, I'll sell lower, like 2 times lower than I've been selling normally to businesses. So I thought I would need this series to at least help us recover as a business since we're in ICU.
Oh, yes.
My questions are majorly what resource investments these guys would require to have a plant put up in a place like Kaveramaido. Because believe me, if it's here, we're in business. And likewise for the team that side, do you need land? I'm just trying to ask, have a monologue within myself, just find out if this can equally be put here. Those plants you've set in other areas, can't we think along those lines of having something here for Kaveramaido, Dokolo, Amolatar, districts of, some parts of Soroti? I think we will need this here if you could put that into consideration. Then another concern from my end is we have a lot of skills mismatch in this area where I stay. And that's why we haven't had a chance to think around this. I for one, did social work, although I'm doing business marketing. But you look around, the opportunities we can exploit, but the skills down here are really not there because people reach as far as senior 4, and that's where they stop with school. So I'm wondering if this can be brought here. We could also tap into the skills development for people around this side. Those are my concerns, but I appreciate Enterprise Uganda. You trained me in 2023 under the Learning for Life program. So I'm a beneficiary of this, and forever we shall stand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for your question. Over to you, Mr. Lubowa. Hello, Mr. Lubowa. Yes?
Yes, I'm here, Belinda. Thank you so much. I would like, first of all, to get back to Mr. Charles Lagu. I don't know which district you are, but if you are by any chance near Noya, we have a project we've worked with Mandulus Energy. And at this project, we have integrated solar and biomass because they have a huge resource for the waste that is coming out from the rice husks and all that. So you can visit that plant and then you'll be able to have a slight idea of what then solar. So they have a biogas gas fire there that is also picking power from solar energy. So it's an hybrid. So all these technologies can be brought together to give you the right kind of mix that you need and all that. To go to Mr. Chow, to the past, we are working closely with people like Enterprise Uganda, Heifa International, and so many people, other partners and stakeholders in the space. How can AIT or All in Trade Limited come hand in hand with stakeholders to drive and create awareness? Because we feel that much of the barrier to adoption of this technology has been essentially due to lack of right information and knowledge. There is a lot of hearsays on what doesn't work, and all that. So these are all things we can be able to put out and be able to see that we can be able to scale. So I'm happy to carry on the conversation even beyond this call with individuals or also with Enterprise Uganda and anyone there. There is a lot we can do out of Kampala. Businesses should not only be anchored in one city. There is a lot of development we can pass on. There is a lot of experience and knowledge we can share. A successful project in one region can be replicated. We can be able to develop an ecosystem for entrepreneurs. We can be able to develop an ecosystem where businesses can thrive and cooperate in competition, but also in building, sharing knowledge and experiences. So these are all spirits we are out there and we can be able to propel going forward. Over to Belinda.
Okay, great. You need to make a visit to Kaweramaido, Mr. Lubowa. We have a friend there and they have an urgent need. They're processing food. People have to eat. Yeah. So we are happy that you're open to that suggestion. Thank you so much for your feedback and your questions. Those who are asking about the presentation. The presentations for the Business Recovery Series are usually shared. The presentations are shared, or you can access them on the Enterprise Uganda YouTube channel. And that is for all the Business Recovery Series that we have hosted since the year started. People are asking about the startup costs for the resource requirement for startups. I think you will answer that question shortly. I also have people have recognized a business opportunity. My friend, Mr. Kayondo Christopher, who is saying they can supply you with personal protective equipment, Mr. Lubowa. Okay, someone has seen a business opportunity and they also do electrical testing equipment. So I hope you've got that plug, all right? So what system is suitable for small-scale manufacturers for baking and roasting batches of food? Yes, I think some of these questions will require maybe a meeting, but you're going to give us an idea of how much one requires just to start the journey of the integration, or the journey of the smart choice. They're going to ask, yes, you're going to ask you for your number and your contact as well. So over to you, Mr. Lubowa. That resource requirement as we start to make the journey. I like that you said, I actually wrote it down here, that was a very nice term that you used. Something like a hire purchase. We don't have to pay all the funds at once. You can pay it in installments as you actually start to take advantage or enjoy the benefits of this smart choice. So talk to us about the resource requirement and the financing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Belinda. As a business, like I said, we've been around 16 years plus. We've come to understand that what we are selling is a premium product, but also one that is paramount to run businesses, and it is a critical aspect for business operations. We've come up with options for financing. Among them is where a client chooses to own the asset. For example, Belinda, you have your home and you require, say, a 5 kilowatt system, and you would like to pay this, say, for 2 years or within 2 years. We are saying that come to us. You can say, I'm a school, my revenue or inflows are quarterly. We can agree onto a payment plan that suits your cash flows. Then there are those clients, one of them is a local bank. To them, they are not interested in owning the asset. They're saying we are only interested in the power that comes out of the asset. But also, we don't want to take on the risk of seeing this on our balance sheet, or then what if it fails in the 5th year or that. We are telling them, don't worry. Just give us the assurance that you'll be able to consume this power for the next 15 years. We can sell to you this power at an agreed tariff, locked in, which whomever even can do for the next 15 years. And then you can be able to pay as you use, or what we call pay as you go, pay as you use, and all that. So these are all options we are coming with. And I'm happy to let you know that while we are crying out there, there are people who are listening, and among them is the World Bank. They have come up with an energy access scale-up project. And as part of this energy access scale-up project, it has come in with some bit of interventions to help customers acquire energy assets. And as AIT, our support has come in and it has been accepted. So we have currently a window on solar water heating. A water heater that was being sold at 6.5 million now is going at 3 million. So what is required, the incentive is coming there of 60%, that a client pays 3 million, and then we go out there and do an installation of 6.5. So the World Bank, working with the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization, comes in to verify, is it a genuine sale? Was it done? What day? Is it working and all that? Then that money is paid back to us. So that is one of the programs. And critical to the barrier or adoption of these clean energy solutions, particularly solar, has been in the lack of upfront, the affordability aspect. And this is what the program is solving. It is an intervention to help households, to help final consumers, to help businesses make the smart choice by making it affordable. And this is coming with the 60% incentives. There are other companies that are doing also incentives on clean cooking and all that. So I urge everyone here to keep their eyes open. On our side, we are rolling out active and aggressive campaigns to make sure that we start reaching out and pitching out to so many people. The program is going to be running for 18 months. So there is a lot coming, and I would be happy to see many of you reach out to me. And so I'm going to put my contact in the chat bar here, and my address, so that people can freely reach out to me. Over to you, Belinda.
Okay, great. This is all very exciting. It's 9 minutes. We have 9 minutes to go. And as Mr. Lubowa shares his number, and his email address in the chat. I would like to remind you that the Global Entrepreneurship Week is coming up in November from the 19th to the 24th. The conference happens on the 19th at Hotel Africana. Do make a plan to be part of it. Mr. Loboa will be there with his energy solutions. And all these people who want to provide protective equipment, Stella Asiko wants to do freight and forwarding services. These discussions are better had with someone on site. So please do come. Mr. Luboa will be there with his team to share with us the energy options that they have. We'll be able to ask him all the questions and to also do business. We have shared a link. If you would like to partner with Enterprise Uganda, you want to exhibit and offer any kind of support, please do fill in that form so that we can know how you want to participate in the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Mr. Luba, we're waiting for you to share your contact. Yes. So if we do not have any questions or any contributions for you, I would like to thank you so much for being part of this presentation today. I hope we are all at a point where we are starting to think about the journey to adopting cleaner energy, renewable energy, saving money. Imagine the 16 million shillings that are saved by a property like Solis House. Imagine how much 16 million shillings is doing for their business. It could buy inputs, they could do an expansion, they could do research, and that is all we desire for our businesses, to make sure that we are lean and not wasting money. Mr. Lwa has shared his contact in the chat. Please do get it. And now I'll get back to him to give us his parting shots, and then we will close off our discussions. Mr. Lwa?
Thank you so much, Belinda, and thank you, everyone. To the colleagues here in business, we are a very open business. Always feel free that you can always reach out to us. We are open to onboard service providers at any one time. There can never be a day when we cannot be listening or talking to clients. So feel free, and let's keep our communication channels open. We are open to do business with everyone here. And like I said, we have good things to share. Let us always keep our opportunities open to sharing for growth. So be rest assured, guys, whoever has the right quality, the right price will have business from us. There can never be a great moment like for entrepreneurs coming together and all that. I would like to thank Enterprise Uganda for bringing us together. These are the kind of synergies that we really want and we desire to have in our businesses, where we have a go-to place where you can meet and interact with people, share experiences, even beyond supplying and all that. It can be an experience where we are sharing knowledge, we are sharing experiences. It can be a challenge with a system. It can be a challenge with this. So these are always good opportunities. Looking forward to meeting you all at Africana, and let's keep our communication channels open. Looking forward to more engagements. To my colleague in Katakwi, anytime I'm in Eastern Uganda, I'll make it a point to pass by, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay, great. Yes, it's the weekend is here, and it's also the end of the month. And it's also the end of the month, 2 months to the end of the year. The busy Christmas season is upon us. We are reviewing our businesses. We are planning for next year. So I hope this has been an insightful presentation for you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for inviting your friends. Thank you for engaging in the chat. And thank you, Mr. Lua, for sharing with us this morning. From Enterprise Uganda and the Business Recovery team, I'd like to wish you a great day and a great end of the month. And until the next Business Recovery series, my name is Belinda Namtebi. Do start planning to attend the Global Entrepreneurship Week that happens between the 19th and the 24th of November, 2024. And the conference will be at Hotel Africana. Until next Thursday, have a great day. Bye-bye.